Introducing Touching Base, connecting Dominicans at home and overseas. Your weekly connection to the Dominican community. Join us every Monday for an episode that brings together Dominicans at home and abroad. Stay tuned for updates, discussions, and features that highlight our politics, culture, traditions, and experiences. Let's stay connected and together strengthen our bond across the globe.
To promote your business, engage current customers, and reach new people? Well, look no further. From the basic presentation to a fully fledged advertisement, use your video ads to attract customers. At Man's Audiovisual Productions, we do just that. We produce videos for business and event promotions, product demo videos, animated explainer videos, fundraiser ads, and much more. Engage your clients and sell online. We customize the video to match your brand design. Guaranteed to play flawless on all devices, including smart TVs. Contact us at telephone number 203-690-4342 or 767-245-6238. Visit our website, mansaudiovisual.com. or email us at derekvideo@gmail.com.
The iTerracare device has the ability to awaken dormant stem cells in the bone marrow. Yes, we have sleeping stem cells in our bone marrows. As you keep blowing this on your spine, you're activating the stem cells, and guess what? You're going to create brand new lungs, brand new kidneys. Eventually, as you keep using this over time, you will have brand new organs, glands, and tissues in your bodies, and that's a great news.
Do you need to live stream your event or make your presentations pop on screen? No problem. Man's Audiovisual Productions Company is here to satisfy all your audiovisual needs. With years of live streaming experience, we are a full-service production company using modern equipment, including HD video cameras, projectors, and screens. We service events ranging from church recordings to town hall meetings. If you're looking for an audiovisual partner for your next event, join our many satisfied customers who trust our services. Reach out and connect with us via WhatsApp or call 203-690-4342. Email us at derekvideo@gmail.com. Visit our website derekvideo.wix.com or www.mansaudiovisual.com. Man's Audiovisual Productions Company. Professionalism with a personal touch.
VTJ Radio The Evolution.
Yes, I am on Facebook right now. I'm on Facebook right now on a program. Okay.
Introducing Touching Base Connecting Dominicans at Home and Overseas, your weekly connection to the Dominican community. Join us every Monday for an episode that brings together Dominicans at home and abroad. Stay tuned for updates, discussions, and features that highlight our politics, culture, traditions, and experiences. Let's stay connected and together strengthen our bond across the globe.
My good friends, my friends.
Good evening. Good night. Good evening, Donnie.
Good evening, my buddies. You know, like Bob Marley say, yes, me friend, we there street again.
Yes.
Come on, good evening, man. How y'all doing, man? It's good to see y'all, man.
Good to see you too, my brother. It has been a while.
Yes,
it's been a long while.
It feels like forever, man.
Yeah, man.
I almost boarded a plane to come up the road to see.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. I good.
All right.
Why Kirby make me feel thirsty, man?
Man, listen. I always have a little water and so on for when the throat get dry.
Yeah, no, that's important, you know.
That's
Yes,
important. That's important. That's
Yes, yes.
yes.
important.
Well,
Yes.
it's good to be back and you know, ready to you know, hit the road again
Yes.
after a little hiatus.
Yes.
All right, so let me formally say good evening to the wonderful listeners and supporters of Touching Base. We are very happy to be back. We miss you all. I know you miss us too, but we are back, and I'm very happy to be with you tonight, so we can have some very important discussions, you know, about our beloved land, Dominica. And I want to say, extend a special good night to my co-host, Mr. Clevel Mills, and Mr. Kirby Samuel. Good night. Thank you and welcome to our program again. Senior Counsel might join us later. And also
Okay.
want to say good night to the Mann family up in Connecticut and Derek and David Mann, you know, the technical guys behind the scene, who've been ready to go for, you know, for the past couple of weeks. And like, what are we doing? We're bored. We need to get it back on the program. So here we are
Yeah.
tonight. Here we are tonight again. Let me say good night to DJ Kojak. I believe we are being streamed live on VTJM Radio. Thank you very much for that, DJ Kojak. So, gentlemen, how has the last couple of weeks been by since we have not been on the program together?
Well, Tony, for my part, it has been a while because I wish I could remember the last date we had a program. And
Yeah.
then there was once I know when we still didn't have a program. There was once I could not make it on two occasions. So we have about a month. Is it all that, Tony?
Yeah, we had two holidays back to back. I think it was the other in Dominica was Pentecost, and then up here was it Memorial Day?
Memorial Day. Yes.
Yeah, and then Mr. Mills couldn't make it one time, and our guests couldn't make it. So we had a few issues, but we are back, and you know, thank God for that. And I know our
And you see, we have been streamed live on by VTGM Radio on
yes,
from our YouTube link.
Actually, no, from Zoom. But
Okay,
you know, actually, you know, right?
we need to get him on.
Okay, we have to get him on. So I will send him a message. I send the link to him. Yeah, but he should be coming on very soon, though, very shortly.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, we're gonna get back to the swing of things, back to the, you know, the hot topic items, back to the issues at hand in our country. We've quite a bit has happened, you know, since we've been gone. We have had the groundbreaking ceremony for the much anticipated yacht marina in the Cabrits. Yep. We've had, you know, we saw some sort of economic summit take place, and of course we have the usual rabble rousers, doubters, naysayers, you know, in typical fashion, spewing negativity, you know. So, you know, thank you. We quite a number of things to discuss tonight, my friends. So I'll let you all, you know, give your opening remarks.
Well, I would like to jump ahead, and the reason I'm jumping ahead is because I want to say good night to the many friends, supporters, fans, those who express their concern about what has been happening to the program. And for some reason, Donnie, my program qualities have not been able to be on air for some time.
Yes.
And it is very likely that we will not be on this Thursday again.
Oh no.
Yeah. But let the listeners, followers, let them know that if they don't see us, it is something that is beyond our control. But we have dedicated ourselves that every occasion that we get to come on the program and to dispel, you know, the disinformation that is on there, the threat mongering, right now we have electoral reform mischief, And all the negative and fake news that taking place, we will always be there to debunk them. So this evening, Donnie and Kirby, I'm looking
Yes.
forward for our discussion this evening, and I'm looking forward to really inform the listeners of who I know have been waiting to hear from us. So Donnie, I'll be on standby.
Right, Mr.
All
Kirby?
right. Thank you very much, Donnie. And I want to say a very special good evening to all the persons who are listening to us on VTJM radio, as well as um, the other streaming platforms like Facebook and YouTube and so on. Obviously, because as Mills would have said, because of the holidays and few other scheduling issues, we were not able to be on for the last couple of weeks. But I received many messages from persons who would have been inquiring, man, what happened to the show tonight? And so we are here and we are ready to inform and engage, and we are ready to continue the conversation. And so we look forward to discussing the issues tonight. And we also look forward to hearing from you. Please do feel free to join us on Facebook and to submit your questions via that medium, as well as all the other mediums. And we will certainly look at your questions, comments, and concerns as we go through tonight's discussions. Look forward to engaging with you, Donnie, and with you, Brother Mills, and with Senior Counsel and any of the others when they come on. And basically to talk about most importantly, what we can do to better our land. Really and truly, as patriots, that is all we should be. We should all want to do. We should all be concerned with is how can I, as a true patriotic Dominican, better do something to better my country. And so I am thankful for this opportunity, as always, to be here, and I look forward to our discussions this evening.
Thank you, Kirby. Thank you. And before I forget, let me say a special good evening to our good friend Morrison. We really miss him on the program.
Indeed.
Morrison's schedule right now does not permit him to partake in the program, but hopefully he can get this sorted out sometime in the near future, and he will be back with us. But Morrison, we do miss you. We hope we can have you back with us, soon, because you are an integral part of Touching Base, and not just us, but also the listeners look forward to your contribution every time. So, good night to you, my friend, you and the family, and I know you're listening. Yes. So, my friends, the first thing I wanted to look before I go further, I also want to just pay homage to our fallen comrade Sogo, who was laid to rest
Yes.
on, I think, was Friday.
Yes.
And Sogo was, a true laborite to the bone, very outspoken. He was part of the media, part of our talk show programs and the Hang, and he was on with Ghost at one time, and he was on with Brain on Laku. And Sogo took ill, and Sogo succumbed to his illness in pretty quick time. And we really do miss Sogo, and we are very sad for his loss, and we want to just encourage his family to be strong. That's always easy to say, but we just we wish God could give them the strength to go through this time of bereavement. And Sogo, may your soul rest in peace. We will always remember you for your contribution to Labour Party and to Dominica.
Indeed. I too was very, very saddened to hear of the passing of our comrade. As you rightly said, he was a true patriot, and I join you in extending my deepest and heartfelt condolences to his family and to his friends, his other friends, apart from us, his family, his extended family.
Yeah.
His main family, as well as his other friends. We we truly extend our deepest sympathies to them and pray for the safety and of his soul as he has transitioned. He has now transitioned from time to eternity, and so we certainly wish that he rests in peace, and we extend our condolences to everyone.
Yep. Indeed, indeed. So, gentlemen, the first thing I want to hit on tonight is, talk about tonight is the opening of the yacht marina.
Yes.
We hadn't had time to do it since we were gone, but I think that is a pretty big development for our country. Another landmark project that this government has pursued. It was promised, it was in the couple of manifestos. The Prime Minister had talked about it extensively, and now we see the sign, the tangible signs that the marina is about to commence, in pretty short time. So that just adds to the number of major projects that is undergoing in our country right now. We can name the international airport, which is the biggest one in our history. The cable car project, which we boast as the longest cable car project in the world. We have the geothermal project going on. We have extensive road rehabilitation and reconstruction going on to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars, right? We have the grammar school being built. We have health centers being built and schools being built across the country. We just saw the Prime Minister open a park, play area for the kids in Penville. Plus we have the hotel construction going on in the Anichi, the one in Portsmouth. So much is happening. So much is happening in our country, and it is pretty amazing that some people could still open their mouths and say nothing is going on in the country. So
yeah. So Donnie, I will start off definitely the ball tonight. It is a phenomenal achievement that we have had. You mentioned that these are key projects, but the word that we have to use from the finance standpoint, these are capital projects. These are projects that are going to transform the landscape of our country, transform the economic landscape, transform the physical landscape of our country. And we are also thrilled and so happy to see the marina finally on the way. By all accounts, in terms of what we would have heard, it is expected that a part of it will be completed by 2027 or thereabout, I believe, subject to correction. And these are all projects that are coming to fruition around the same time. One of the things that I hope, Donnie, that we're going to be able to touch on, and I will bring it up. There seems to be some misconception with persons in the marketplace, who have been seeking to say to the government that you should divert money to put up lights and all of these things, and cricket and this and that. I'm hoping that we will get to add that in there a bit, because this is not a time for games. This is a time for us to be prudent, and we have a government that is prudent in what it is doing. We have, as you mentioned, all of these capital projects that are going to transform the landscape. And what I would really encourage Dominicans, particularly young Dominicans, this is the time to train yourselves. This is the time to start looking at what niche market could I corner? What service could I provide to the marina? What service could I, if I can't do it on my own, what service could I join with other young persons to provide to the airport? What are the services that I could probably provide to the cable car, to the geothermal company? These major capital projects, how can I have a fringe, or how can I have a business venture or something that is going to support the activities of those projects? And if it's something that I have said from way back when we had the consultations and throughout, I've always said this, and I've always said that we need, as Dominicans, to prepare ourselves. And you heard it from the horse's mouth recently. Even the Prime Minister recently said that while we will encourage persons to come to Dominica, but we must encourage our own persons here to prepare to take advantage of these many opportunities. Because if we don't take advantage of them, persons will come in and they will take advantage of them. And so this is the time that we must prepare. I am very excited about the prospect of the marina. It is going to bring a whole new clientele, right, to Dominica. I mean, I have personally seen Michael Jordan come off his boat in the Bahamas here. I have personally seen him, and this was probably about 2 or so months ago. And I mean, I'm just mentioning him. This is going to open up a whole new market for Dominica. When you have these ultra high net worth individuals who are on their vessels cruising up and down the Caribbean and had not been able to stop in Dominica because we did not have a marina suitable for some of these mega yachts that they own. I think it was said that the marina will accommodate several large vessels. I think they'll have 3 or 4 large berths for these mega yachts. And it is, and to segue a little bit, there was a Dominican who was featured, a Dominican chef. I don't remember his first name, but he's a Shillingford, who was featured on that Bravo show Below Deck, right? And these are, it's a show about, mega yachts, and have these high net worth persons going to different islands. They've been to St. Kitts several times, to the Bahamas several times. So all these are things that we look forward to when the marina is completed. And I'm excited to see it take off. What are your thoughts, Donnie? Because we needed a marina in Dominica. And by God, the Dominica Labour Party and this government is delivering through the policies that it has put in place to enable and to facilitate this investment, or these kind of investments, into Dominica.
Well, comrade, I could not say any better than you did. But before I go, I will let Mr. Mills, hear his opinion on that. So, Mr. Mills, the floor is yours. You're on mute.
Okay, all right. I mean, you're all a bit low, but I'll have to try my best. Yes, it was very interesting. I was just trying to get a date that we had the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the yacht marina at the cabins. And one of the things that was clear to us, and during the discussion, is that at least since 1968, for 64 years, all governments spoke about a yacht marina in the Cabris area. And today, this time, we have the government of Dominica on the Roosevelt Carriage breaking the ground to construct a yacht marina. And what is interesting, at least the same company that constructed then Kempinski Hotel under much criticism, objection, even people trying to spoil it. I would like to say that they like to put a spoke in the wheel of any project. And it's a kind of I think senior counsel call it an oxymoron, because I think you're talking a spoke in the wheel. The spoke is supposed to help the wheel, strengthen the wheel, and let it turn. But you have to put the spoke across the wheel. stop the movement of our projects. So I was there, Donnie, and Samuel Kirby. I was, and it was really an exciting time. It is a time of hope. It is a time when people are trying to destroy our source of revenue. But what we see by the fact that this groundbreaking ceremony is a sign that there is hope and there is confidence that the funds will be made available to construct this marina like the Kempinski, like the other projects that are ongoing in Dominica. So the groundbreaking is a message and a remembrance. And to stand to all those who are against progress and all those who think that development is something that is bad for Dominican because of the way they try to fight it. That is going to give us hope, those of us who have been around and who have seen the progress of the government. Still, all the other projects, I'm also mentioning them because Kirby mentioned them, and the hope that it brings to the amount of different revenue source, different business, new businesses that go to service those what we call transformational projects. And that is enough to give us hope, and that is enough to let, in spite of the fierce criticism, that the people, ordinary people, understand and they know how to ignore those who are trying to bring the country to disrepute. So that's just one point. Done.
Yes, my friend, indeed. You know, this is indeed what you call transformational development. And in this modern world, this is the kind of development, this is the kind of mindset that any country should have, right? Dominica is posturing itself to become one of the most modern destinations in the Caribbean, right? And there's nothing wrong in thinking that your country deserves the best. And that is what every leader should espouse. Despite your small population, despite your small geography, right? We are a country that has a lot to offer. We are a country that is very attractive, right? And if we can present ourselves to the world, right, then we can exploit or capitalize on the opportunities that are out there, right? And that is going to redound to the benefit of the people, right? So I don't understand how anybody could be opposed to this. And the ones who are opposed to this, when you consider their alternative, right? When you consider what is their plan for development, when you consider what is their plan to uplift the lives of the people, you hear nonsense like stimulus, stimulus. Just think of what is taking place before our eyes right now. Think about what's taking place before our eyes right now. We are building an international airport that will be able to accommodate wide-body aircraft from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from America, right? We are building a cable car that will take you over the Boiling Lake, a special attraction. We are building a yacht marina, like could be said. that can accommodate super yachts. We are attracting the super wealthy to our country, right? And they will not only bring with them, economic spin-offs, but they will also bring, yeah, they're being who they are by coming to Dominica. You talk about Michael Jordan going to the Bahamas, right? Just his name alone linked to Dominica is going to be huge promotion for our country, right? So if Michael Jordan comes to Dominica, who else is going to come after him?
Exactly.
It's an attraction. It's free publicity.
Indeed.
And this only bodes well for our country. And this kind of myopic thinking in Dominica, it is so old, and it really needs to stop, and people need to up the game, right? And see Dominica as a place of opportunity where we can market ourselves, and we can bring in foreign direct investment, and we can continue to build upon our nation, on our country, and make Dominica, a leader. Leader for tourist destination, a leader in so many aspects. And as a Dominican, that's what I I want to see. That's what I aspire to. That's my desire, to see my country continue to be highlighted positively. And we're gonna build this country and ensure, our government is gonna build this country and ensure that every generation after us is going to come into a wealthier country, a healthier country, a country with more opportunities where our kids can thrive and grow and become successful. And that is that's what we all should aspire to. Could be.
Yes. I mean, and Donnie, to be honest with you, I heard what you said, and we have sometimes to call out persons who would seek to try to take Dominica down a path that is not sustainable for their own selfish agendas. But you know what I've told myself in this new dispensation, as I call it? I have told myself, my brother, something is happening. Remember, there was that song that we used to play a lot, we played a lot before, from Red Plastic Bag, woy, 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 something's happening. Something is happening, all right, in Dominica. And I want you to take the naysayers. I do not think we have the time, and we should have the time, to sit down and worry with them and their belly aching and naysaying. In the words of Daddy Chessman, forward we go.
That's right.
Forward we go.
That's right.
This is Dominica's time. We have seen for years, right? Successive governments have come. And we have seen for years, all the other Caribbean islands who had marinas, who had international airports and all of that. And everybody was making fun of Dominica, even Dominicans. Dominicans, even was making fun and saying, oh, especially some in the diaspora, oh, I can't go home. I'd have to waste a whole day to travel. I'd have to waste 2 days to travel, and all of that nonsense, right? I used to watch some people who would say this kind of thing, and I used to say, boy, oh, you can say you love Dominica. You love Dominica? My brother, many times I take how many different routes and had to overnight here, overnight there to reach Dominica. I don't think no horrors, because it's home I was going. But I digress. This is now Dominica's time. And we are, if you notice, if anyone who really wants to be objective notices what is happening, and if you can, let me give you a quick ballpark. Dominica is now going to have an international airport. Dominica is now going to have a marina. Dominica is now going to have a renewable source of energy, right? Which does not depend on fossil fuels and diesel, and oil, right? Contributing to the true nature island mantra of Dominica, right? Dominica is going to have all of these different sustainable projects and developments, all of these hotels, and believe you me, more will come, right? And you know what is the greatest thing about all of these projects, Donnie? They are being done without a single burden being placed on the taxpayer or the taxpayers of Dominica. You can hate Skerrit if you want. You can hate Labour if you want. You can hate the government if you want, or profess to try to hate. But this is just something that you cannot deny. The airport is being built with money from the CBI, right? The airport is not a case that you have to now tax people to pay for the airport. The hospital was built, right? As that one was different, but it was mostly through soft loans and grants from our brothers and sisters in China.
Yeah.
Okay. All of these projects are happening, and it's not 1 year. You have heard the Prime Minister come to the Parliament and say, in order for us to do this, we need to go to Trinidad and borrow 170 million. Or in order for us to do this, we need to put a levy on Social Security. Or in order for us to do this, we need to increase pay as you earn, or we need to increase this tax or that tax, or we need to increase VAT, or this austerity or that austerity. We went through all of that already. And every project that is happening in Dominica right now, if you look at it from a systematic standpoint, it is going to better the economy, and it is being done at no extra burden to the population. And so these are exciting times for Dominica. And as a Dominican, I could not be more proud of what we are doing.
Mr. Mills, Mr. Mills, go ahead.
I would just like to add one thing, to what Toby just said. That I would just like to add one thing what Toby just said, that the hospital, China Friendship Hospital, was one of the 4 pillar projects. It was a pure grant from the People's Republic of China when we changed over from Taiwan to China. So
right.
among many other things, that is one of the wonderful things about the amount of projects that are taking place in Dominica right now. I mean, we always say that when I remember in 1982, I've been around for a long time, Toby. I remember in 1982 when Freedom Party just won, they were building the Isilobran Bridge, and that was the mother of all projects. All right. Now we have how many projects are happening at how many times, and plus we have projects not just in the pipeline, projects in line to come, plus what that is in the pipeline. So there's a series of projects that are there. As I say, not in the pipeline, just from one to the other. And I keep saying, every time you let me say that, I remember for the 2017 budget, Prime Minister Skerrit mentioned, and I have to find that the text and the audio, where he said that 2017 July, that is the budget, that was our first $1 billion budget. That due to the number of projects that were in the line, that Dominicans and people overseas will come to Dominica for work. And we are seeing that. It is true that Hurricane Maria put a pause on it for some time, but it also helped it, because what happened after Hurricane Maria, a number of people came to Dominica to work for whatever assistance, and now many of them are back here, and you'll be surprised to know the number of, especially in the construction business, the number of overseas persons who have construction companies in Dominica. I remember not too long ago, somebody told me that one of them said to them, they have nowhere going. They have nowhere going. They find a place where they think they can make it. Can you imagine that? In time past, we Dominicans used to always run and flee the country. I remember there was a time, Tony, in the first, especially in the 80s, 85 going up to 95. Every time there's a thing you call the first orders. And what you should see, how many officers resign? I presume that's happened in the public service, especially in the nursing. And police officers used to just resign one after the other every week because they go in for greener pastures. Now those things don't happen anymore. I've seen a number of Dominicans, young people back here doing business. That is so if you do not understand the projects that we have lined up, just think of it, of all the Dominicans who are back here in business. And as Kirby will tell you, that is just the beginning of things.
Just the beginning.
That is just the beginning of things. Because as you add on the multiplying, you have the marina, you have the different project, people start adding, doing business to service that. And while those who are doing business to service the marina and on the other thing, other people have to do business to service them. And it's like the opposite of a domino effect. They're not falling down, they're raising up. Okay?
Yeah.
So you see business rising. So I think we are on a very strong footing, and the people who want to get into power, they cannot tackle the government on progress. They got tackle the government on the work that they're doing. They will just try fake news and try every little piece of childish information and try to see if they can score points on those things. They are very miserable, sometimes. So the stronger the government work, the more miserable the opposition look, especially when they are not using the correct method to try to, gain power. So they do not support anything that the government is doing. If they're going to have 20 projects, there's not one project you have the opposition in support of the projects that the government is doing. So in time to come, you have an international airport by 2027. What is the opposition contribution to that? They try their best. They're talking about going to court and try to stop the funds from flowing on the international project. You remember when we were doing different projects, they wrote to UNESCO when they're doing Kempinski. They are always, come on, man. So the opposition is making themselves irrelevant and unattractive. And that is why people will swing to the government, the Labour Party, just that the government does have to keep focus and do not get complacent by a weak opposition.
You're right. You're absolutely right, my brother. The only thing I would change with what you said, A. Clevel, is you keep referencing the opposition. Dominica does. Let me not say it that way. You laugh because you know what I was going to say. We do not have an opposition party currently. Okay? In order for you to be the opposition, you must be seated in parliament as an alternative government, as a party, and you will present your plans for how you would lead Dominica if you are given the opportunity. Okay?
Yeah.
That has not.
I get your point.
But I want to. I want to touch on something you said earlier. You referenced the persons who have already taken advantage of the projects that are in Dominica from outside. And we welcome them with open arms. They are Caribbean brothers and sisters. I have personally seen persons from Trinidad, persons from St. Lucia, who are in Dominica on my various visits to Dominica. I see them, I talk to them, I ask them, how did you get here? What are you doing? What are you contributing to? Because I want to know what they're doing, right? And one of the questions I always ask them, right? They don't owe me no explanation, but in conversing with them, you engage them. And one of the final questions I ask them, are you training at young Dominicans to learn your skill, to learn what it is you do, right? And this is what we have to do with the persons who are coming in, right? Don't look to come and say, oh, why you coming to my country or nothing like that. No, these people are coming in as skilled people. We are so fortunate to be able to learn so much from the Chinese, right? Not just the Chinese who are engaged at the airport, but the Chinese who are engaged at the agricultural station. And I've seen articles where they have been teaching our farmers how to grow certain types of bell peppers, the yellow ones, the red ones, the different color ones, and in a sustainable way. And why I brought this up, or why it's important, I have said this before, we need, and I cannot stress it enough, we need as a country, particularly our young people, to ensure that the opportunities that are there for training and for preparing, that we do it. Because while we welcome persons coming into Dominica, and we open our arms and welcome them, if you do not, as a Dominican, take advantage of the opportunities that are in place for you, then people will come and take it, and then you will sit on the sidelines like the 5 foolish virgins and say, well, where they come out, why they have all this money in Dominica and I don't have none, right? You know that's something some people like to do. They like to check other people's money, right? They like to count people's money instead of sitting down and deciding, okay, what can I do to make my own, right? And so we need to encourage our young people. There's the orange economy. The Prime Minister made reference to some of these things in his press conference last Friday. And I was very happy to hear that. Encouraging persons to get involved in the orange economy. I saw something the other day, and I'll end with this so you can speak, Mills. In Jamaica, they're using drones to deliver pesticide and agricultural, the spray oil and all these things to crops. So a man doesn't have to go with a knapsack on his back and spray those things anymore. Why am I saying that? All of that is part of this. These are new areas that persons can learn about. Drone piloting, many different things, music, arts. What can you do? There are opportunities that are ripe in Dominica, and we need to encourage our people to take advantage of them.
Yes,
very important.
Very important. Great points you're making. And Kirby.
Yes, brother.
Earlier you talked about the CBI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a lot of talk about the CBI is not sustainable, and it's going to come to an end, which may well be so. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what better way to invest the CBI funds than to invest it in your country, to build your infrastructure, to build your country, right? Because everybody says like the airport is not going anywhere. It belongs to Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted,
Yeah.
When you're muted.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the best way to invest the funds which they claim, it will someday come to an end, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot use the CBI funds to give people stimulus, right? To give them a Christmas bonus, right? What is a wiser investment? An international airport or $3 in your pocket?
Well, Donnie, the Bible tells you, give a man a fish or teach him to fish.
Exactly.
That's what the Bible tells you. Yeah.
So I mean, and it has been said even by the governor, the governor of the ECCB when he came to Dominica, right? He praised the government of Dominica for the manner in which they use the CBI funds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this nonsensical arguments these guys are making about give people stimulus, or send kids giving people a Christmas bonus, and it doesn't make any sense. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Donnie, if I could just tell you something about that whole thing, and people referencing St. Kitts, so I'll tell them. The government changed in St. Kitts about 2 years ago, you know, and they came in on a promise and say, well, we're going to give people dividends from the CBI and all of that. It was done once, and it hasn't been done again yet, right? Now, I'm not knocking them, okay? But to make the point to what you were saying, we are using, and the government is being very prudent, in my view, in using the resources of the CBI. We do not know tomorrow what may happen. The CBI may be with us for another 20, 50 years. It may be with us for another 5 or 10 years. If we are able to put these sustainable projects in place, and you don't need a master's degree in finance to figure these things out. Invest in projects that will build your economy. Then when, by God, the CBI says goodbye to us, we can say thank you for all that you have done for Dominica. But we are on a solid footing now, and we can take it from here. And if you and I are in the ground by then, right, then, you know, the waters of the earth will come and tell us how our children are benefiting from those early on investments. And so when persons talk about, you know, stimulus and all of these grand ideas, you have to ask them how they plan to sustain it. But sometimes it really makes no sense to even have these kinds of arguments. I think the right thing is to remain focused. Ensure that the airport is delivered, ensure that the geothermal is delivered for the people, ensure that the marina is delivered for the good of the people and for the good of our nation and the good of our country and the future of our country, right? Yeah. So that is where our focus has to be as a nation, and that is where, as a proud Dominican, that's where my focus is, and that is where I would encourage everybody to have their focus on, right? How can I benefit from these projects? What can I do to play my part, right? And if you cannot have that discussion with me, then my brother, don't talk to me at all. That's just my view, you know? If you ain't coming and saying to me how I can benefit or how I can do something that is going to benefit you or benefit the young of my country or benefit somebody or benefit my family, from all the good that is happening in the country, if you can't come and tell me that, and you want to come and quarrel instead about lights in Windsor Park Stadium, I'm sorry, I keep going back to that because I'm so incensed by it. You know how irony is? This is just the most ironic thing. You remember when ground was broken for the Windsor Park Stadium? You remember all what was said? You remember all the naysayers? You remember all the flack they had to say about Skerritt and Reggie Austri, and I think at the time who was Minister of Works and Communications and Works, and all these people? And then when the stadium is now, that stadium will never go in and finish, right?
It would
the
never
stadium
happen.
finished.
It would never happen.
It finished. We've had matches there. The stadium been filled to capacity, right? And now, because of so many different things that we've been through as a nation, right? Always flooding, always having this issue, that issue. The lights, they need to change. You want to vex with the government and say, no,
it is because,
what are you doing?
My friend, we must remind them, it is because only of Roosevelt Skerritt and the Dominican Labour Party, right? That there can even be a conversation about having
right now
cricket in Dominica.
But that is the ignorance of it, and that is why I felt that I had to point it out. Yeah. Because as we speak today, right? There are people giving me hell on social media for that, right? Talking about lights and the government lose an opportunity. And you know how much of them mashed me up today because all I did, I posted an article from Barbados today. And the article said that, hey, The taxi operators are saying they're not seeing any money from this whole World Cup thing yet. Right? Boy, they crucify me for posting that. Who is me to post that? But that is a fact. You know?
But
So
I want to ask the question, you know,
go ahead, brother.
and is it just me with my logic thinking, trying to make common sense of a situation, trying to add one and one together, right? Do you really
Right.
believe, honestly, do you really believe the amount of money that was required to get the facilities and everything else to get us ready for international cricket? And we were supposed to have how many matches? 2 or 4? How many matches we supposed to have? 2.
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
Do you believe, honestly, that Dominica would be able to bring in anywhere close to the amount of money we're going to spend? Do you believe that?
My brother, let me tell you this, right? There's some people even right now, even in Dominica, praising St. Vincent. St. Vincent put swimming pools by their thing. They're ready to go. I've been on forums and I've taken screenshots of forums of extensions are actually praising Dominica for remaining focused on building these capital projects. These aren't my words. I could post them now, right? Staying the course and doing that because they're saying, why? Okay, we have swimming pool and we're ready for World Cup. Who paying back for that? These are the questions that Vincentians are asking of their government. And they're saying that Dominica did good to remain true and focus on building the international airport. These aren't my words. These are their words.
That's my point. No, look at St. Lucia. Had to take a loan, right? From Dominica, from different banks around the region, right?
That's another topic we need to touch on. Anyway.
You understand? So do you think it's prudent for Dominica to go and take a loan to host cricket, right? When I'm certain whatever tourists, whatever tourists, we would not go to make all that money back, right? Do you think at this time, while we're focusing on such critical projects, it was prudent to go and take a loan or to go and spend $100 million to have cricket? I mean, yeah, we would love to see cricket, right? But you see people just see things happening and they don't know the cost of it, right? They don't know the burden, and tomorrow the same one's going to complain, right? Of course, we'd love to have right? But doesn't make economic sense to really do it, you know. I mean, I'm not talking on the government's behalf. I don't know that, you know, but that is just my thinking.
Yes.
That's just my own opinion, you know. But that's what I see, and I see this Spark John posting on Facebook, and so juvenile, so silly. You know, oh, St. Vincent, St. Vincent. They always compare. And the same people remember Mr. Mills, because you know that very well. They were the same ones comparing, oh, St. Kitts is making how much money with CBI, and Dominica making this and this. And when we when the government went to work and promoted our program, and we began to see results, then the same people were trying to destroy it with lies and selling passports to crooks and criminals. And these people are, I mean, they're just a bunch of destructive people, right? And they want to take a sledgehammer to Dominica's image and Dominica's economy and just smash it. Mr. Mills.
And that is why.
The floor.
Go ahead.
You know, these people, they have a one-track mind. I think it's done. They have a one-trick pony.
Yeah, they have one-trick pony. Yeah.
It is always about trying to get people to get angry on any little thing. I want to go back to the stimulus. Dominica was the first that started putting stimulus or a stimuli or stimulus, if you want to, wherever you want to put them, in the economy from day one. After Hurricane Maria, remember, Dominica was blocked everywhere, especially Roseau. And the government spent millions of dollars to clean Roseau and other areas in Dominica from money that they had from the CBI. All that time people were working, getting paid. That was a new source of employment, getting to clear the garbage that that Maria brought in Dominica. We saw the people go all over. Some people became us. That's how our good friend Sonia, I can call her name. She became a specialist in mobilizing people and getting up young people to work. And all now she's still at work. That is one. Most of the private sector, the supermarkets in Dominica, their workers, their salaries were being paid and subsidized by the government. That is a stimulus. Because why? If the government did not put that money, these people would be without money to pay for the bills. And so this was a stimulus. Because why? The Marriott itself had already crippled the economy. The supermarket owners could not pay their workers, even if there was a demand for the product, because of the damage that was there. So the government put enough money in the economy. And just because, well, I heard Kirby was explaining to one ago, just because places like St. Kitts, they came up with some kind of direct money in people's hand. Money in your hand or is ready for you to pay your bills and to feed yourself and to take care of your daily needs. A lot of Dominicans, their needs were met and the money was spent for them. So they want, after Dominicans got the assistance, they want them to basically the assistance that the government gave and try to get that and still get another set of money in their hand. When the government gave the public servants a double bubble, that was a stimulus. That was a stimulus. So the opposition, they are looking for ways and means to get people dissatisfied, angry, and feel that the government is not doing anymore. So the government has always been doing things. So when the things like the thing come out, I heard Lennox Linden, well, that's a fool. Came up with all kind of story or people are going to sell bakes. So again, that's the one triple Ponino. Always hoping that it is an opportunity to get people dissatisfied and get people angry, get people out in the street. They have been trying for years and years and years. And everything they do is one bouillon. The electoral reform is two-phase. They are dissatisfied, they want to carry hide shame from the eye, but at the same time, the way they describe it and the way they present it is to get people angry. So all they about is violence. That's what you can see. Violence, because if you want people to get angry, if you are a hungry man, is an angry man. And when a man is angry, he will think straight. So people would just listen to what they want to say. It's scary that have you like that. So these people, okay, we don't call them opposition. I think, okay, they're the pressure groups in Dominica. That is what they're doing. And so far, the people can see them for who they are. The people subconsciously, doesn't matter what they say, they do not trust them. And it doesn't matter how many radio programs they have. It doesn't matter how many scholars they bring to try to brainwash the people. They have exposed themselves. They have lost all credibility. And my good friend will say, they have no credit. Their credit finished. And that is why they are who they are. And they'll continue to be what they are.
Yes, yes. I mean, this I don't think these people, I don't think they have the ability, right, to contextualize. I don't think they have the ability to I mean, these people are so malicious. These people are so desperate. They're so desperate for power. They do not have the ability to see what's happening in this country. They don't have the ability to appreciate what is required to improve people's lives. They don't have the appreciation for people's needs, for people's well-being. They don't, right? And all they're looking to do is always to bore a hole in the boat, right? How we can sink the boat, right? Let us just consider the actions that this opposition has taken, right? After Hurricane Maria, we all of us, Mr. Mills was there, right? I went right soon after Maria, right? We saw the devastation, the sheer, utter devastation of our country. And the prevailing opinion was that Dominica was finished. Dominica was done. Dominica was done. When I spoke to them, I said, no, we finished. People saw no hope of recovery of Dominica. No hope. And it's because of the same prudence of the government. That is why Dominica began to recover so quickly. The same CBI, right? The Prime Minister went to the UN. He gave this great historic speech. He called the World Bank and he said, look, I'm not coming to negotiate. I'm not coming there for no, we need money, right? And if you're going to help us, this is what we need. And you know what the opposition did? The World Bank was getting money for to help people rebuild their houses, to agriculture, to help them replant and so we could start growing back our produce. These guys wrote to World Bank with all kind of stories, lying about the government's handling of the World Bank money. The World Bank came down, they sent the people down themselves to see. Big lie. The funds were managed prudently, right? These guys have written to every organization they can think of. They wrote to the Queen, right? They wrote to I mean everybody that they think of, trying to derail Dominica, trying to black eye Dominica, trying to ensure that the benefit the people to get would be denied for them. And then people are supposed to vote you. People are supposed to really believe in you. People are supposed to believe that you have the best interests. I mean, are people that dumb? I mean, are we that stupid? You try to deny us bread and you can't give us biscuit? You know, and people are supposed to believe in you, and then you have an economic summit to say what? What are you going to tell us that we don't already know about you? Right? That your entire history, and all your efforts has been to destroy the country. So what summit do you want to hold now to say what? Huh? At the same jungle bit that your leader, your no president, who was the leader at the time, said don't build. I mean, you see the shamelessness of that? Kirby, let me let you go.
My boy, so sometimes, Donnie, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. You know, that's what I always say. Sometimes if you do not laugh, you will be forced to cry. You know, but in listening to both you and Mills speak, I don't know if you've noticed that there is a pattern that's emerging, and the pattern is simply this. Every time there is something that comes up or that is happening, some sort of development, some sort of area, there's always, there's never, not once, someone from that side would come out and say, you know, I have my problems with the government, I have my problems with the way they do things, but this is a good thing for Dominica. It is always, how can I do something to undermine it? You mentioned people writing to the Queen and all of that. The Queen, rest her soul, what she was gonna do, beat us? Boy, listen, I, if you do not laugh, Donnie, sometimes you will cry. And that's why I have purposed in my mind and my heart. I am so encouraged by the progress that has been made by this government towards developing Dominica. I am encouraged by the visionary leadership of our Prime Minister, because he doesn't, one thing with the Prime Minister, he doesn't go and defend himself and be loud up and nothing like that. You don't realize that about him? Calm, cool man, right? He don't be, when everybody shouting and thing, he don't be on that. But he's very calculating, he's very, very deliberate in the decisions that he takes for the betterment of Dominica. I am encouraged. I am deeply encouraged when the time does come that the CBI may no longer be with us, that under his leadership, we have put a lot in place to ensure Dominica's future. I don't know. We need, I think, I am so excited by this. We should highlight some of the opportunities. There are people who don't really grasp the scope of what is happening in Dominica yet. So you figure, okay, the airport is going to be built, right? And it's just going to be, okay, the 70 or 100 people who working at the airport, from the ramp agents for each airline to the to the stores and to the restaurants, to this, to that, the other, in an international airport. We all travel, we know what international airports are. As you mentioned, they're all the people like me who sell eggs, who are going to supply these people, right? You might be selling pork, you supply, right? Another man supplying this, and that is where you find that turnaround in your economy. That is where you find that trickle up economics, if I can coin that phrase, right? From the trickle down economics that they spoke about in the US, right? That is where you find that way. You remember when we had the rainforest aerial tram? You remember the amount of people that used to be working on that project up there as guides and as this and as that and so on? And you remember that, right? Like back around 2000 or whenever that was? Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Why I'm mentioning that, you know that the level, that was the tram. How far did the tram go? I don't even remember how far it went. But in comparison to what is being built now, the many different top station, down station, this one, this guy, that guy, hair braiders, all of that, all these things going to be happening, right? The taxi operators. You go down to the marina, all those big mega yachts, when they pull in, going to need provisions and rationing, and can get all fresh fruits and produce from our farmers, can get fresh meat from our farmers and fisher folks, the fish, right? You think about other areas, you know, the airport, all of that. There's going to be that spill off or that turnover in our economy. And I don't know if you can hear the excitement in my voice. We have no time as a nation to sit and worry about persons who may want to bellyache. Frankly speaking, the man wanted to have his economic summit. It's a free country, let him have his summit. He talked to his people and his acolytes. They discuss what they discuss and they decide what they decide. more power to them. I'm not even going to give that another brain cell. I want to see how can I encourage a young person in Dominica to benefit from what is happening. How can I watch a young person who just leave the college and probably is now did culinary science or did tourism and hospitality management? How can I encourage that young person to go into an area, right, that they can do or provide some service to the international airport? And so these are the conversations that we need to have now. The infrastructure is being put in place. Something is happening. And in the words of Daddy Chess, forward we go. Forward ever, backward never. Right? People can bellyache if they want, but until you can come and say to me that you want to talk about an alternative way, or this is the way that you think things should be done, or this is what you would do differently, until you want to have that kind of discussion, man, don't come in front of my door. Don't come and tell me no nonsense about billions missing, because the billions getting pumped into the economy. Don't tell me no rubbish about scary this or scary that. Don't tell me those things. Right? Tell me what you would do different that from what's being done now. Tell us that. And until you can do that, shut up. Dominica is moving forward. And we are grateful that we are moving forward as a nation. And we have no time to engage in any petty nonsense. It's a free country. Let man talk, let man do what they want, let man congregate, let man meet up, let man decide whatever. But we as a nation are moving forward with the developments, forward with the government of Dominica, forward with the Dominica Labour Party.
You know,
Go ahead, Mr. Mills. Go ahead.
yeah, I listen to I stood there listening to Kirby, talking about this happening. But we have already picture in 2027 a brand new international airport at Crumpton Point between Woodford and Westlake in operation. We are sure, based on what the government is doing, the use of Melville Airport, the lengthening of the runway, to set the stage so that when our international airport is completed, the airlines and them will be in line, waiting to start flying to Dominica in soonest. I remember they say that when St. Kitts International Airport was constructed, it took 12 years before they had the first natural airline coming into St. Kitts. I can guarantee you that when our international airport will be completed, we'll have airlines in line to come to Dominica as if we were already in the market, based on the method and the way that they are constructing the airport, and at the same time, they are in touch and negotiating with the airlines. We have Kempinski, okay? We have Secret Bay. Now we have that airport in the valley. We have the one at Pecan. We have the one at Salisbury.
Hotel, yeah.
Yeah. These hotels, most of them 5-star hotels.
Mhm.
By that time, they will be completed. You're talking about a brand new Dominica.
Mhm.
You spoke about the aerial tram. You spoke about the benefit. That will be in operation. Okay?
Mhm.
We will have geothermal. Our energy will come from geothermal.
Mhm.
If I miss anything, it doesn't matter. The point is, you have an opposition seeing that in the future. They have never been a constructive opposition from the day they have been, from the day they formed. Even while they were in government, they behave as if they were in opposition. They're very rowdy at everything that they're doing. You see our government working like that. You see some parliamentarians, young parliamentarians who will be getting training, who will get experience by the time 2027 come around. You see the leadership in the opposition. They are on retirement and they are not vibrant. They have not made any record. They have not a track record to turn back to talk about. So you can say that these people, yeah, it is true, they are advanced in age, but this is a track record. So these people, they are not seen, and you cannot, for the time being, you're not seeing any young person coming up among them. Because why? They have not led, they have not staged, they have not set the standard for the young people. That's why the leader of the party, Workers' Party, said, if he was a young person, he would stay far away from the United Workers' Party. And every day we can see why. We can see why he really
Wait,
made it.
wait. Wow.
If you have any doubt,
He
I
did
can
say
look
that.
for it. No?
He
If you have any
said
doubt, I
that.
can. Yeah.
Wow.
If you have any doubt, I can get the tip for you.
And these
Okay.
are the fellas that these people following by?
Yeah. So based on what I just said, looking down the road, what Dominica going to be looking like, and you'll be having an election campaign by that time. So the opposition, they have a technique that they try for the longest while. It is still because people are aware of what they are doing and why they are doing it. They took us in the early 2000, 2007, 2008. But from 2009, when people see what was happening, that's when we got the landslide. 18-3, because they were very aggressive. But some way, somehow, their aggressiveness and the constant attack, some way, somehow, what you notice, people getting the message, the reverse psychology. And that is why from what it was, 9 or 12 seats in 2005. In 2009, the party got 18 seats. And a lot of people lose hope in them, lose hope in the opposition. And that is what we see that is happening right now in Dominica. So the opposition, so we go like to them, maybe the pressure groups,
Yeah.
the pressure groups are wrong. We have lost all credibility, and we are here to really remind the listeners and the viewers what is happening. I was just closing up, Tony, and I see senior counsel is on the line. I was
Yes.
just
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, friend. So before I go any further, I forgot to mention earlier that VTJM did connect, and we are live on VTJM radio. So we are very happy for that. And like you said, Mr. Mills, we just saw our esteemed senior counsel has joined us, and I know he's been listening, and I'm very happy to welcome him, to our program tonight. And we look forward to whatever he has to say, because it's always on point and very powerful. So, Senior Counsel, good night and welcome.
Good night, my brother. Good night. Good night, Kobe. Good night, Tavish. Good night to the engineers, to the listeners, to everybody.
Very good night,
Interesting
Tony.
program. I listened to you all for quite a bit. I was doing some work, and the two short points I wanted to make. I think Dominica is the only country where an opposition party has sought to suggest that nothing's happening. And at the same time, every social economic program, and we don't have the time to get into all of them, that the government has put in place for the alleviation of poverty, for the enhancement of education, access to health, access to jobs, access to homes, literally resurrecting the country since Maria devastated it and so on. The opposition has not played any constructive part. They have objected to every single thing. The only thing that they have done is to continue lying and misinformation and incitement to violence and the violence in Marigot, in Salisbury, in Roseau, and the constant mépris and now the ongoing civil war between the Sudan faction and the Marigot faction. And I think it's a very good thing to keep pointing out the project, even though we see them, we touch them, and we watch them going up and being completed. We have to keep driving that message home. Because one of the things that our people don't truly understand, when Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt became Prime Minister, in the midst of an IMF program, and following the death of two of the lions of the Labour Party, Lion of Moore Park and Cottage, and of Portsmouth and of Granby. The CDB experts published a poverty assessment on the country, and the country was in a bad way. People were abandoned, the elderly, the ill, the infirm were being abandoned. People couldn't do anything. The economy had contracted, bananas had died, DBMC was bankrupt. And one of the things the CDB 2003 report pointed out was the effect on the elderly, the ill, the infirm. And one of the first programs that Roosevelt Skerritt executed on behalf of the people of this country was the Yes We Care program. And that told me that was in the right place. But by 2009, there had been a significant reduction of poverty in the midst of an IMF program, with all the different social economic programs they had put, the house, repairs of house, access to jobs, access to finance, and so on. And we are in a place today where the world is literally blowing our trumpets about the best country to retire in, the safest country to be in, the most beautiful country. Now we have, you guys mentioned the tram, the whale sanctuary, the marina, the international airport, the homes, the clinics, the hospitals, the schools, the roads, the bridges, the airport. And geothermal. We can talk until we become intellectually tired listing all of the incredible things that the government has done. And with constant opposition and a sustained attack on the integrity of the citizenship by investment program. They want to kill that. How should I put it? The source of our revenue that enabled the Prime Minister to recover from Maria within 3 to 4 years, when the experts were saying it would take 20 to 25. And he did it because Clarence will tell you, he's the first one who mentioned it, that there was $300 to $400 million of reserve monies in relation to the Citizenship Investment Program, which permitted the government to kick off the recovery process on the same day. And some of us in the diaspora and at home don't understand that we were destroyed twice, Erica, Maria, and then the third one was COVID. And look where we are. Agriculture was at $99 million contribution to GDP. Before Erica, it was 240-something million. After Maria, which devastated the farming, as you know, Curry, we've gone way past $220 million contribution to GDP again, with a promise from the Minister of Finance to reach 300 million or 600, I remember, by the year 2025 or 2026. What I wanted to really focus on as well, and I want to have a discussion with you all on it, and it is this: despite all that has happened, reduction in poverty, increases in savings in the banks, in the credit union, we have a population of 70-something thousand. Dame Eugenia Child said one of the smallest economies in CARICOM, and we have a national cooperative union with over $740 million worth of assets. And Mary got close to 50 million in Wesley and the Salisbury past 50 million. there are tens of millions of dollars being saved in the credit unions across the length and breadth of the country. And despite all of that, I mean, I don't have to take time to tell the people savings and deposits increase because the economy is strong. People can save. It's a statement made by Simeon on Saturday. And I think we have underestimated the importance of that. Simeon said he was provoked to call on Saturday because he had heard Fountain or somebody at the so-called economic summit on the economy saying that we must develop our country by ourselves, using only Dominican resources, Dominican finances, Dominican expertise, and not the Chinese and others who have been participating in the development of the country, bearing in mind that the countries in our region and elsewhere have trumpeted the success of foreign direct investment as a critical aspect of the country's growth. And I'm saying, if true, if that is really what Simeon heard, and I trust Simeon, I've been with friends of Simeon since 1990 something, it's the most asinine statement any political party led by any political leader, especially an economist, could make. Because which country is going to be able to develop itself to the extent that we have done over the last 20 years, simply using local resources without assistance from foreign countries, especially those we have close political and diplomatic ties with, like the People's Republic of China. America can borrow money from the People's Republic of China.
Why
Africa,
can't we?
yeah, people in countries in Africa and the Middle East and Asia are inviting Chinese expertise and capital for project, and we mustn't. We, one of the smallest countries in the world, must not accept the contributions to our country by the People's Republic of China, by Venezuela, by Sandals if they want to come. I mean, Intercontinental is there. Kempinski was there. What would that strategy of xenophobic development mean to the country? You would not have allowed Intercontinental or Hilton or Marriott or the first or Kempinski to set up shop in our country because you don't want foreign help. But you know what makes it worse, Kirby? All of the hotels we have built under the Citizenship by Investment program, all of the homes and the clinics and the roads and so on, have been constructed from funds from foreign investors.
Yes.
They invest in the hotels, they buy their shares, they buy their cottage, they buy their interest in the cottage, they get whatever instrument of ownership or time sharing that they get. And then they get citizenship. It means that if that Fountain on United Workers' Party's policy is allowed to take root, all of that will go. That could never happen in our country again because they don't want foreign investors. They don't seem to understand that the persons who are investing in the real estate and other aspects of the Citizenship by Investment program are in fact investing their money in buildings, in property, in hotels, in exchange for which they can apply for citizenship. And I'm saying, but who in their right mind would say something like that? And it can only be a mind that is completely bankrupt of constructive ideas or who has no clue how to develop a country as vulnerable to natural disasters as our country is. I just find it shocking. And I've asked Simeon, I've even asked Dolly to see if we can get a clip because I want to hear it. I trust Simeon. Simeon and I started radio at the same time in 1997, 98 with Rosie Douglas and so on. But I want to hear the clip. I really want to hear if Fountain or somebody at that summit got the endorsement of the United Workers' Party for saying they don't want to use Chinese to assist in the development of the country and other foreign investors. I mean, Kirby and Travis and Donnie, I find that a shocking statement to make in the year 2024. And I wanted
Beyond
to
shopping.
support that since Saturday.
My God.
I mean, what is your response to
I
that?
didn't hear that statement because I was, like I told you, Conrad, I was, not feeling so good, so I didn't listen to the program. But I
You
did,
act as
I, but I
bodyguard
did,
for your uncle.
but I did hear him make some similar remarks, and he said that we can build Dominica by reaching out to our diasporans, right? Have our diasporan people invest in business and on use their funds to invest and like you said, I was perplexed, right? For more than one reason, senior counsel and comrades. Now, the first reason, is going along the lines of what senior counsel is saying. How do you expect to develop a country by not, using your foreign allies? The great US of A, like senior counsel said, is using China as a source of revenue, right? And when you tell me you the small island called Dominica, you really expect to build Dominica by Dominicans only. That is an asinine comment. But also, it is the same people, the Workers' Party people or the opposition, who are dead set, not just dead set, but who are very hostile towards diasporans living in Dominica, living overseas, who say they have no right to come home to vote.
Say that again, comrade. Repeat that.
Right? Who threaten them and who boldly say, once you live in overseas, when you go overseas to work, don't come back to Dominica to vote. Once you pay taxes overseas, don't come home to vote. You're like, to you, you're no longer Dominican. You're not welcome in Dominica anymore once you go overseas. Right? And then you're gonna reach out to the same people. And these are the people who you want to, if you were the leader of the country, to help you build the country. I mean, come on, guys.
With
Donnie, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Kirby. That's an excellent point that you've made. That's an excellent point that you made. Because they want to use them, as Trump said, all I want is your vote. I don't really care about you. So basically, Fountain is saying, I don't really care about you. All I want is your money.
Yeah.
Because they have fought tooth and nail to prevent these people from having the constitutional right to vote that we have been advocating for. In fact, one of the commissioners, I'm not sure whether it's Wayne James or Hillary.
Hillary.
Apparently spoke about you can't come in there and walk on my road.
Hillary.
You didn't have to build the road. And at the same time, they forgot that between Erica, Maria, and COVID, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, who I hope are listening to us tonight, because you all had a great beginning of the show before I joined, sent close to $500 million of assistance in kind and in cash to help the families and friends who were affected with Erica and Maria and COVID. And Donnie and Kirby, your good friend, Miss in Canada, I forgot her name, Donnie, Miss Del Sol.
Francis Del Sol. Yeah.
There was a fantastic article about her on DNO. And I don't think they read it before they posted it, otherwise they would not have posted it. And there were excerpts from the World Bank reports showing the significant contribution. Diaspora, especially from Miss Del Sol from Canada. And for tooth and nail to stop them from voting. In fact, they didn't want them on the list at all. And now with the government showing its reach with the European Union, World Bank, the other institutions that readily give them concessionary loan funding because of the prudent management of the finances. And the People's Republic of China, and before it was also Hugo Chavez and the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela. And the great success of the Citizenship by Investment Program, they now want to turn the back of they want to turn their backs on the people that are, and the countries and the organizations that have helped us over the years to rebuild our country from one disaster to other. And the first disaster the country faced was the United Workers' Party in government that completely wrecked the country and the country's economy and finances and reputation. Then you had Erica Marie and COVID. And I don't think we or our Dominican brothers and sisters emphasize the fundamental importance of the fact that with Erica, we lost 94% of our GDP. With Maria, we lost 220-something% of our GDP. And we not only survived, we rebuilt, Kirby. We rebuilt. How do you think we did that? And
Within
notwithstanding
2 years,
yeah. And with
2015, 2017.
yes. And despite all of the considerable loss that occurred after Erica and Maria, the country had sufficient finances to maneuver through COVID, ensuring everybody got paid and nobody suffered. And now the World Bank and CELAC, I can't remember the name of it now, are saying that a significant rate of growth is predicted for 2023, 2024. And the most troubling thing for me is this: I don't really care what they say, except that when you have a political leader who's supposed to be an economist, he's supposed to stop this crap about people hurting, devastating consequences on the people and so on. People are this, people are that, the country bankrupt. Can you imagine Fountain is suggesting implicitly that we've had the highest rates of migration under the Labour Party? I mean, at some stage, the opposition politicians are going to have to tell the people the truth. And because they can't, and because they don't have a credible alternative to the governance and to the methods, to the policies that have led to growth, development, and capital projects, they've come up with this xenophobic piece of rubbish about doing it ourselves. I mean, you challenge everything, you don't support everything, you seek to subvert the Citizenship by Investment Program. Things are succeeding, you want to do this, you want to do that, you go on CBS 60 Minutes, you go on Huffington Post, you go on Al Jazeera, you do everything that you want to do, and you're not supporting the country. The country is doing well, notwithstanding what you're saying. And by all means, you want to destroy it. And now your great plan, the great plan of the United Workers' Party is based on xenophobia. Leave foreigners out of the business. Foreigners who have played a significant role in our economy over the last few years. So, comrades, I just hope and pray that we keep going on this show and on the next level and on the head. Because we have a lot of work to do. We have to stay focused on the central issue. That's why I like the topic you all had today, and I decided to join in. Sorry.
Yes, Kobe, you were saying something
Earlier, yeah, I want to agree 100% with what both Tony and Mills would have said. The part that Tony mentioned as it relates to the total rubbish, really, of insinuating that Dominica should be able to build its own and depend on diasporans and don't go to the Chinese. Meanwhile, America owes the Chinese over $1 trillion, right? So it's good for America, but it's not good for Dominica. And I will dare say, if it's one thing, the Chinese have been a very good friend to Dominica, a very good friend and a very good brother to Dominica. The Chinese have stood side by side with Dominica, and we are thankful to President Xi and his government for the relationship that they have had and the friendship and the brotherhood that they have had with Dominica and the solidarity that they've had with Dominica for the last 20 plus years. Right? Of importance as well, that I want to also touch on and note, also in line with this, is something that Cleville said right before Senior Counsel came on. And I don't want us to lose this at all. He made reference to the fact that every other Caribbean island had been making and had done it the other way around, where they put their airport in place and then try to put the infrastructure in place to support the airport. That is a fundamental flaw that we must pay attention to, because I believe that the government has seen that over the years, and look at how the development in Dominica is happening. Those infrastructural projects are happening in a simultaneous way, or at the same time with the international airport. So when the airport and all those other things are completed, then we will have the infrastructure to support. And I think that was very important to mention as well. But Tony is absolutely right, and I am not going to sit down and, if a man is going to use his platform to suggest that Dominica should not benefit from the benevolence of the Chinese and the good nature of the Chinese, Dominica should go on its own and depend on the same diasporans to come and to invest in Dominica. When you tell them and tell us we cannot come and vote, I'll say us because I'm in it. We can't and we shouldn't come and vote, but you want to embrace the diasporans. And this is the hypocrisy of it all, and I'll end with this to allow Mills to come in, right? I always wonder, and we always must seriously think about this, eh? You have opposing forces, I refuse to say an opposition, you have opposing views in Dominica who will kick the CBI, who will kick the Chinese, who will kick the diasporans today. If by some stroke of the imagination, you are to form a government in 10 or 20 years' time, you're going to come to me as a diasporan to tell me join hands? You're going to go to the Chinese to ask to join hands? The Chinese have very long memory, you know. You're going to go to them? You're going to go to the same persons that you kicked, saying that they are no good, to now seek to join hands? And so these are the type of questions that we need to ask ourselves as Dominicans. And not just ask ourselves, but these are the type of things that we need to observe and be observant about. And so that's why I said earlier, when people want to talk, let them have their summit, let them say that we shouldn't partner with the Chinese, and we're not listening to that, right? We are thankful to the Chinese, and we are thankful to our Prime Minister for the vision that he had over 24 years ago, or just about 24 years ago, to establish or seek to establish diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of, with the government of China. And we are thankful to them for the partnership and the friendship they have had with Dominica for all these years. And a true testament to their friendship is how they have always been ready to stand side by side and shoulder with us through many adversities, and as we have sought to build our country. And so we will not join with anybody who will seek to come and try to say that, oh, the Chinese this and the Chinese that. No, they are our brothers and our sisters, and we appreciate everything that they have done and are continuing to do for our country. Mills?
Yeah, Mr. Mills, I see you taking some notes. Mr. Mills? Can you hear me? Can you hear us, Mr. Mills?
I might fall asleep, man.
No, he's right there, but Mr. Mills. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, his mic is muted.
Wait, it looks like his. Tony, go ahead. Mr. Miller seems to have lost.
No,
connection.
I share the view that you and Kirby have. I mean, the suggestion that the summit was not successful and people didn't turn out because of fear is an admission of a complete and absolute failure. But they're right about one thing, I comment. There is fear in the country. The people are scared, totally scared, to almost as scared to death about the United Workers' Party. They remember, or their parents will tell them, or their grandparents will tell them the damage they did between 95 and 2000, the violence that occurred while they were in opposition, the hypocrisy about making allegations against Prime Minister Roosevelt when it turns out in 2005, 2009, 2019, all the evidence pointed one way. I mean, that's an indisputable fact. They're also scared totally of the United Workers' Party because the consistent threats and acts of violence that took place in Salisbury, Roseau, and Marigot on 2 occasions, in Salisbury on 2 or 3 occasions, and Roseau on one that I recall. And they also are scared of the United Workers' Party because they see the way they try to savage our reputation simply by talking about truth and talking about facts, and how they've been savaging each other in a tribal war over control of the United Workers' Party. And I think this is just simply a battle over who can control the fundraising. Edison and Lennox are probably going through some significant withdrawal symptoms right now, knowing that they can't use their political positions anymore to raise funds. And I'm going to put it generously, raise funds for an election, right, as opposed for themselves. And if I'm sitting down by the bayfront and I'm hearing any sort of hegas that's taking place in that tribal war, with the Blessings and Bryans and Lintons and Fountain and the others, I would be terrified. I wouldn't want these fellas to come close to my rum shop, for far less my home, and definitely not the parliament. So Dominicans, they must stop trying to portray us as fools. We're not. We're an extraordinarily bright and intelligent people. My father always said to me, Dominicans are rooted in common sense. Said simply because a man doesn't have an education, he would make a fool of you if you try to take advantage of him because you're a lawyer and he's not. We are rooted in common sense, Kirby. So they really have to stop trying to make fools out of us. The Dominican Labour Party has never called for violence on the street. We never burnt any building. We never threw stones at anybody. We didn't threaten to put their diasporans in body bags. We didn't threaten to cut somebody's head off and put it in a bucket. We never stole the buildings owned by United Workers' Party's people. We never blocked roads in Granby or Portsmouth or Bajo. I mean, when you reflect on the history of the United Workers' Party, including all the lies and the constant lying and so on, I am very afraid of these fellas. And that's why for years, my friends who knew me in Dominica, I never went anywhere by myself. I never went anywhere by myself. Not even to pick up a snow cone would I go by myself. I know what these guys are, the constant threats, the constant agitation, describing former president of this country as a Dominican born and bred black country bookie, attacking the judges, attacking the Speaker of the House, attacking the police, attacking the DPP, attacking everybody. And you know who they never attack or criticize? Kirby themselves for being the perennial political failure they've been for the last 24 years. Just imagine, just imagine that. And they try to undermine Roosevelt Skerritt's leadership. My brothers, leadership matters. And there's no person I'd rather see as Prime Minister for the next 10, 20 years than Roosevelt Skerritt. What he has done for our country is what many a Prime Minister, Premier, Chief Minister thought of doing planned to do and couldn't do it.
Mhm.
Hydro, Dame Eugenia Charles and them were talking about hydro. More schools, more hospitals, more this, more that. They all spoke about it from the
Mhm.
days of Cleveland Frank Barron, especially the airport. All spoke about it. Who has brought it to our doorstep? Roosevelt Skerritt. Who's brought
Mhm.
geothermal? Him. Schools, him.
Mhm.
Scholarships overseas. Hospitals, clinics, roads, bridges, education, access to health. I mean,
Do you all do you all remember the interior road? I'm going from to go to the airport. Do you all remember that road?
Hmm.
When you go
I
through
remember it
Bells?
very well.
Do you remember that
I
road?
remember
And
it very
when I
well.
came home and I saw what was good, I was amazed because I there's so many things happening in Dominica which I never imagined would ever happen. And it happened on the Roosevelt Skerritt.
Yes.
I was amazed. Mr. Mills, I've been calling on you for a while, but you were trying to get that audio clip. So go ahead.
Yeah. I was trying to get that clip from Thompson Fountain, but I hope I'll get it one day soon. But
you mean
my
you mean like tomorrow?
impression, well, I hope hopefully, my my
You
my
give
impression
yourself too much
already,
time.
my impression already about the economic summit. To me, it is always about a narrative. Always about a narrative. In other words, the Workers' Party at least 20 after 2009. Thompson Fountain has always been saying that our economy is at a state of comatose. I didn't mean to say it. It's dead. And in spite of all that is happening in Dominica, they keep trying to form that narrative to show that nothing is happening in the country. The government doesn't know what they're about. So by having a summit, they can try to make themselves look like some people that know something about economics and how to really um, get a country that is suffering, that is in decline, and they can come up with a remedy to revive the economy. Because as far as they've been saying all the time, the economy is dead. There's nothing happening in the country. So in spite of all what we spoke about earlier on, all the development that is taking place in Dominica, they believe if they could go get some Dominicans from overseas, get some people who have some, I think what somebody said it was academic discussion. They described it in school. It was just some kind of a function to make themselves look like they're smart and they're brilliant. And the country is going down. So they come along like the saviors to save the country. And this is what they were really trying to do. And then the mistake they made, they try to make it look like something national, but they are telling you this is an activity of the United Workers' Party. Why would you expect each and everybody that you want to come who do not want to find themselves in politics? There are people who would not come and attend something, whether or not they're a supporter of the Labour Party. And then you are going on radio and you're crying and trying to expose people. I heard they mention the DIC and they mention other people named that did not send anybody. That is the way these people function. They are in opposition. But look at how they want to deal with people who they believe just because the person did not come or did not accept your invitation. Or because in some cases where they single out some people and they came. You see, these people is all about projecting and trying to create an impression. So they were so dissatisfied that the people did not come. They want to blame the people and try to say it is a question of people in Dominica are living in fear. But we know who are the people that always run their election. And from the time Labour Workers' Party came around this thing, it was about fear, trying to let people believe that there was some fear. They themselves are causing the fear. And they want to let people believe that there's something fearful about Dominica. As I heard Senior King say, people are very much afraid of them. People do not trust them. People do not want to see them anywhere near in the halls of power. That is why when they won the election
Mr. Mills,
in
can I ask you a question? Can I
Yes,
ask you a
yes.
question? Because you said something there I want to jump in on. Knowing what you know about Thompson Fountain, would you trust it?
No, no. I know. I personally have personal experience with him. I will not trust him. Plus what I know about him, he's not trustworthy.
No,
So
no,
why? Yeah,
just to follow up on what Tony said, he's not to be trusted. And the fact that he's bringing up again that Dominicans should be responsible for Dominica's development, and he pointed out the diaspora. It takes me back to a few years ago when he was spearheading some sort of investment opportunity for Dominicans, so-called,
you remember that?
using a Ponzi scheme, right? And the contact information for that Ponzi scheme was his address in the US.
Yeah.
And when we and the next level senior council, Simeon, we bust him out, the information disappeared from the internet.
Yeah.
Remember that?
The website went down for maintenance.
Yes, it hasn't been back up since.
They never maintain it.
A Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, and that is a man at the time when there was so many not allegations, there was evidence about his conduct when he was entrusted with the DAS funds and he was entrusted with the DAS lands. And at the same time, you're coming up with a kind of a Ponzi scheme. And I'm certain that if you have to check the button, that button you press when you want to make a donation, it would be interesting to know where that fund was going to, on whose account. This is a man who had just been in a war with Gabriel Christian and others about funds that he put on his account. So this man is not this man, you just cannot trust him. And that is why he tried to put a gang order on the past. Remember in that same summit, he said, let us start afresh, let us forget the past. What does he want us to forget? What does he want to forget? He cannot say that they did not have the evidence against him, but he wants to say, forget what I did, forget about the way I conducted the affairs of the dance. I went to South Sudan and I saved South Sudan, so I'm not ready to lead you. But even in that summit, you can see the trickery and the dishonesty in their presentation, and the impression that they want to leave with Dominicans, that they come to save the economy because we are falling. A country that we started having over $1 million budget from 2017, okay, and growing. A country with how many projects? We have an airport, international airport, with $1.3 billion. We have how many projects on the line, and you're telling people that the economy is falling. Just before senior council came, I was trying to tell people, can you consider or just pick Dominica by 2027 with an international airport just newly constructed? All the hotels, the 5-star hotels that we have under construction now will be fully completed. When you look at Timpkins, you have 5 of them in all over Dominica in a short space of time, and you want to come with an impression that Dominica economy is failing, and you have a summit, you call your friends from the diaspora, and you alone can fix it. You and your friends in the diaspora. You don't need any international support or cooperation. You don't need to trade with anybody. So you and your friends will come down in Dominica, and all of a sudden Dominica will be a place. Everybody in the world will come and buy all what they make. I mean, that is just foolishness. And that is why Simeon, when he made that point, it stuck in my mind too, like you see the council. When Simeon said that, and that's why I was desperately trying to look for that clip, because it is very significant that a man is telling you that he's not going to engage the Chinese, just strictly Dominicans. Yeah.
Yeah. I just found some material about the Dominica Investment Club.
You got that?
In launched in 2015.
You have to forget that.
Yeah. Yeah. Free. We will be targeting in the first 3 We'll be targeting in the first year 300 people to move up to 500 by the third year. They would get the 300 members. They would go $500,000 by the end of the year. They have the potential to reach approximately 4 million with a membership of 500. and people were supposed to make a monthly payment of between 100 and 250. No regulation from any financial regulator, no institution. Just take people's money and send it to whatever bank controlled by whoever. And that was the idea at Kirby of the Dominica Investment Club, launched in 2015. So I guess that's what that is what he's trying to revive, I guess.
Yes.
I guess because he has not explained, how Dominicans in the diaspora are going to build this country.
Well, I did not hear speak about good cheese and good milk and Vective perfume this time.
Yeah. But comrades, it's 10 after 8. We 8 minutes over time.
After 10.
Yes, 10.
But you know, Donnie, if I may just say very quickly, my friend, you would have thought, right, that if an economic summit was held, that you would have left the summit with a clear blueprint as to what you would do different, as to what you are suggesting, as to what it would be. But although I cannot say that I listened to it in its entirety, but where the footnotes which says, okay, at this highly successful summit, this is the blueprint that we've put forward, or that we are putting forward for the advancement of Dominica. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
No.
And so we need to get serious and we need to get real. These are serious times for serious people. Okay, the trajectory that Dominica is on right now, these are serious times, and it requires serious people with serious ideas and serious ability to get things done. They always said, there's a quote that I always tell my students, those who keep saying that it cannot be done should shut up and get out of the way for those who are prepared to do it. All right? And so this is not the time for sanctimonious platitudes and fine speeches. Right? Dominica is on the move now. We have a goal. We can say, okay, by 2027, we should have this capital project complete. By 2028, we will have this one, if it's the marina or whatever, the airport or whatever. By 2025, the cable car will be complete. These are dates that are actually stated, placed on the record, and achievable. I have listened intently to every single update on every single capital project. The most recent update we got was when the Prime Minister visited the cable car in Loda.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the project manager intently. The gentleman said, by the time you come up here again, we may be able to take you all on a cart to go up, right? Because the lines will be in place by then.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we are pushing for 2025. And I'm not sure if it's 25 or 26, whichever year, but the point is he gave a specific year and a specific date. Mr. Mohammed Asaria, who's the vice chairman of Range, in his address at the Marina groundbreaking
ceremony.
Yeah, he gave a clear timeline and said 2027. And so I don't want to take up any more time, Donnie. As you said, we're winding down, but we are on a serious trajectory. We need serious people and serious leaders who can assist us as a nation to move forward. We have been graced with serious people and serious leaders for the past 24 years. And it makes no sense for us to change that now and go to another or go to another route to someone who has failed to tell us this is what I'm going to do. And so that is where I'll end my contribution tonight.
Comrade, thank you so much, comrade. Thank you very much. Mr. Mills, your final words.
Well, my final word is that we see where we are going. We can see what the future is like right now. And we hear noise on the other side. Nothing clear. It's just trying to give an impression, give an illusion, you know, try to confuse some people, and so that they can be distracted from what is happening and that they will not appreciate the important thing that is happening. And they hope that they will get some confused people to go out to put them in to power while they have not defined where they're going to do them, where they're going to get a better way. The people, the pressure group, as some would like, we would like me to call them, the pressure group, they are not interested in development. They just think it is something by terms. Like if the government is there for 3 terms or 2 terms, then you don't have to give the next one.
Yeah.
Your time, like it's a line up.
It's their turn now.
Yeah, their turn now.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So people are satisfied with what they are seeing. They can see the way ahead, and maybe the pressure group will look like a precipice, and people don't want to go there. So that is how I see it, and that is how I see it. I think most people should see it, and we must continue praising the good thing that happened in Dominica. Must continue appreciating the funds, the CBI projects, because they can see what it is doing for Dominica. And we have a big fight because there are still some people who are still trying to tarnish the name of Dominica, tarnish the program, because they are interested in stalling the goods. We just have to bear that in mind and continue to show our support. And every time we get the opportunity to debunk and dispel the disinformation that he has spreading in many ways, in words and in action.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Thank you. Senior Counsel, final words.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I'm very happy to see the show is back on. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope that those who are listening will appreciate the effort that you guys have to make. You on Mondays, the others on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday mornings, Tuesday and Saturday nights, the next level. I think it's you guys. I keep saying you guys. I don't want to make it about me. Deserve a considerable amount of credit for the work you are doing in the public interest and for the benefit of the country. Because let me tell you something, these fellas have a nuclear powered rapid production, a machine for the rapid production of fake news and lies and misinformation. I once said, I'm sure they're specially programmed computers that they program at night when they wake up in the morning, whatever it is, they come like artificial intelligence, whatever that comes up with, they run with it. So anyway, Donnie, thank you for being on. Thank you for giving me the time. I have to rush off now, and I'm glad the show has ended now. Kirby, good night. Mills, good night. Donnie, good night.
Good night, brother. Good night, Tony. Good night.
Good night, brother man. Yes, well, Tony said they have a rapid machine that produces fake news and lies. But I think they are, rodents is hard to control. Hard to control rodents. They're very troublesome to get rid of, and they like to spread garbage. you know, and that's how I you know that's the metaphor I use, because these guys, they don't rest, and they just are hell bent on ensuring that Dominica does not go forward, which is a futile exercise anyway, because Dominica continues to forge ahead despite the consistent and non-stop machinery of lies and fake news, right? Dominica has achieved so much and continues to achieve so much. And they do not see that their attempts is an exercise of futility, and they continue it. Hopefully, they hoping that one day, you know, something may happen. But like Tony said, leadership matters. If you don't have a vision, then you will perish. And our country is being set on the right path with the foundation laid years ago, when we had a young prime minister installed who took the reins of power at a very difficult time. And he has, you know, in that special way, the special gift he has, led Dominica through hell and back. And we are on the right path. So, my friend, like Tony just said, I want to thank you all very, very much. And please never underestimate your contribution to Dominica by doing what you are doing. I want to thank you again for being up late at night on another Monday night. And I want to thank all the listeners. We are back, and we will try our very best to be on every night, every Monday night, God willing, because we think it's important that we put information out, and we also value your feedback and your comments. Okay. Let me thank Man's Audiovisual for taking care of our technical side of things. Let me thank DJ Kojak and VTGM Radio for streaming live. Thank you to all the people, Dominicans at home and abroad. And I wish you all a pleasant and wonderful and restful evening. I wish you God guidance, Godspeed. Have a happy night's rest. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. And we will meet again on Touching Base next week, Monday, God willing. And of course, Mr. Mills, I don't know if you'll be on tomorrow, but I'll be listening to the hang. If I can call, I will, because you know things are busy. But could be a Mr. Mills, thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening, and we'll see you pretty soon.
Indeed. Have a good night.
Thank you.